Thanks for coming, guys. We're going to get this started about 5 after. So welcome to the Gap Mastermind family. We're thrilled you're here today with us. Drop a hello in the chat. Tell us where you're coming from, tuning in from. It's always amazing to see everybody. And quick reminder, Gap Mastermind happens every Monday from 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't make it live, no worries. The recordings are always available on our YouTube channel, EXP Global Alliance. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell at the bottom so you never miss a session. Okay, well, we're going to get started. It's a powerful conversation today. Please keep your questions to the end. When the speaker ends, we'll open up for Q&A and get ready to take notes and pop your questions in the chat and have them ready. I'll turn the floor over to Jamie Miller. Come on in.
And you guys can all, I take it you can hear me. All right. Ben, you're like sat right next to me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Okay, share. Okay. So let me just have a open up. Oh, jumping ahead of me. Is it okay to be human, everybody, as I get on here? Like if I'm looking at faces, how many of you like me are human? I can see Veronica Delic. Actually, I'm going to ask an amazing question. Is certain people, when I see Global Alliance admin, like how many people are on here right now who are viewing it? Do I get to view everyone's faces or I don't, Ben?
There are 7 here now, but the rest are on Facebook
watching
live.
Okay. So I could be cheeky. Veronica Delic, if I'm pronouncing that right, is decent from the neck up. Just by chance, is everyone else that is on here, are you all decent from the neck up? Like Ben and Veronica, and then what I do is I look for laughter. Now, Ben, if you can monitor the chat, you're next to me, so just you can see the admin of what people are chatting. Hey, before I start throwing at you guys a whole load of communication lessons, just show your hands right in the chat. How many of you, like me, believe your ability to communicate is important for everything in daily life? Okay, terrific. All right, so Veronica's with me. Howie's just jumped on board. I take it he would have probably raised his hand to that. Now, before I start sharing with you guys how to communicate more consciously, what benefits would you guys come up with to be better in your communication? So, Veronica, to pick on you, because I can see if you unmute yourself, what benefits would you come up with before I teach anything to be better in your communication?
Everything and anything in life. I mean, for the purpose of our business, being able to communicate better with our clients, relay information in a better way, and be the authority.
Did you say authority?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that for me?
Well, going back to being salespeople and what we do and what we're here trying to learn how to communicate better, we are the experts, and we need to make sure that when we talk to our clients, when we communicate, whether it's by in-person, phone, text, email, we position ourselves like the experts.
Perfect. Now, just guys can write in the chat. Do you all agree with Veronica on everything that she just said there? All right. When it comes to your communication, you can just write, yes, we agree with Veronica. Veronica's amazing. She speaks the truth. All right. And so from that front, now, trust, credibility, all these things, are they all very important, everybody? You're probably all saying yes. So watch this. I happen to have Ben next to me. Do you guys have to know a ton of things about Jamie Miller to believe I have these things? Or do we all have faith in Ben and Gap Mastermind that I must have these things to be invited on this platform to teach today? So the question is, do you have to know things about me, or do we all have faith in Ben? All right, and Gap Mastermind. What are people typing in the chat? Are any people typing they have to know? No? Okay, so what's this? I use this as a lesson for you guys. The fact you will say you've got faith and you don't have to know things about me means I don't have to share with you. You might recognize, how many of you recognize Deontay Lawrence? He is one of my original clients. Ben is an original client of mine. I've been at this for 6 years. I don't need to share that with you. I don't need to share all my clients. I can scroll through these slides real quick. I don't need to share I've been invited to speak at the Pentagon. I don't need to share this is me at WM teaching all their AEs, and I've been added to their partner perks program. Some of you might have been in Detroit this week. Ben was telling me, I know Deontay was there. I don't need to share that I operate. Ben's not wearing his hat with pride today, but I give people baseball hats where I grew my hair out really long. So I started to prove that, what is it? That appearance is not as important as what we make out. I don't need to share. I don't need to share that. I don't need to share. Oh, how many of you are familiar with Inman magazine, being that you're in real estate? I did I was featured in an article no fewer than 3 times teaching body language. All right, is body language important in how we communicate with the world and clients and stuff? Okay, so watch this, Veronica. I'll see if I get laughter from everyone. I saw some laughing emojis. I call it predictability. Body language. If you want someone to do yes in front of you, all you do is, like I do with Veronica right now. Veronica, our ability to communicate is very important. All right. I just nod my head yes in body language. Now you're going to laugh, everyone. The only person who ruined body language for us was Bill Clinton, because he goes, I did not have sex with that woman. I will absolutely cooperate with the authorities. And I see Veronica laughing and different people laughing. All right, so just if anyone ever says the words, I did not, but their body language is doing this, they're lying right to your face, just so you guys are aware. But as a lesson, I didn't need to share that with you. I'm going to go through all these slides that I don't need to share with you about how my phone number blows up after giving lessons like this. I can't even share my number anymore. When I started my business, Gil, famously, how many of you all know Gil Ramos? I love Gil. When I started out my business, I met with him, and I think the famous words of Gil Ramos, I'm not thinking big enough. Now I think I'd scare myself if I knew where I'd be 6.5 years later after meeting him and not thinking big enough. I'm going to scroll through these slides and just not share them because I don't have to, and I'm going to get to a first lesson in communication. Am I oversharing? All right, now watch this. When we are speaking with clients, all right, and we're trying to sell to a client, as Veronica was saying, who do we ideally want doing all the talking? Do we want to do all the talking, or do we want the client doing all the talking? Okay, Veronica's saying her. All right, type in the chat so Ben could see. I'm of the, now all sales is an agreement to think the same way. My belief is I think the client should do all the talking. All right, we need to get the client to an emotional space. As realtors, we're doing the most emotional sale on the planet. If we're doing all the talking, we don't know if the person in front of us values what we're sharing with them. All right. I don't know if any of you, if you do type in the chat or if you're in a quiet spot, you unmute yourself. Did anyone see a theme as to what I did when I first started talking? What was I doing of you guys as an audience? Anyone? Anyone typing away? If you typed, I was asking questions, you'd be right. Okay, so here's what I'm going to share with you. If I share with you today in the next half an hour how you can ask a question of someone and they start selling themselves on your services and you haven't told them anything, who would say that was a glorious Gap Mastermind to be a part of? To learn one question, you ask your clients, they start selling themselves on you and you haven't told them anything. Would that be an amazing training to be on? All right, Veronica nodding her head, yes, is good enough for me. So I'm going to make a promise that I'm going to deliver on that. Now, anyone help me out here? I'm 48 years of age. Does anyone not know what movie is this from, everybody? Anyone know what movie this is from?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Thanks, Desmond. Thank you for having a great, Desmond. I love sarcasm, Desmond. All right. So
Karate Kid. Wax
Okay.
on, wax
Karate
off.
Kid.
All right, wax on, wax off. So Desmond, help everyone else out. When Daniel's being taught wax on, wax off, wasn't he like, Mr. Miyagi, what does this got to do with karate, right? And by the end of the movie, was it everything to do with karate, correct? Okay. Okay. So you're going to have some wax on, wax off moments here today because I'm going to teach you possibly how I get my kids to do what I want them to do and make it their idea to do it. And it's the same conversation verbiage you'll use with your clients, buyers and sellers. If you're a single fella on here, you might take a snapshot. I'll show you how I helped a male client. I'm not a hitch, but I helped a male client get a date on Bumble using 3 questions. And then as a result of those 3 questions, they're the same 3 questions you'll use to get a buyer or a seller to an emotional place to work with you. Can we all agree that communication, it doesn't just affect our business life, it affects our personal life? And let's see if you agree with this. We can't be amateurs in our home life and suddenly become pros in our professional life in how we communicate. If we're asking bad questions at home, we're likely to be asking bad questions of clients. All right, and I'll show you how that works too. Now, all of you in a quiet spot, unmute yourselves. Every one of you in a quiet spot, unmute yourselves and just do justice for this because it is being recorded and transcribed. All of you do your best version of a British accent. Don't have to say the word mate, but all of you just unmute yourselves and say the word cheers in your best British accent on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, well done. Fantastic. Good sports. Now, if you were me, you're invited by Ben, you'd probably want to teach people things they don't know. When I teach you something you don't know, just say the word cheers. That way I know you're with me and learning stuff here. Now, my former British self, I have been told I'm charming, debonair. I've been told I can swear. It sounds polite. I will not swear. I am now a proud American. Yay, America. All right. I even drive a truck. Okay, so that's yay. All right. Can we just set this up for success? I'm going to throw a lot of what I call one-way traffic at you guys now, where I'm going to teach you guys a bunch of things. I'm going to open up where you can have questions on me. Can we set this up for success? It is impossible for me to teach you everything in 40 minutes. Can we set, all right, that you face in life? Is that normal, a normal thought for me to have? I can teach you a lot. I can't teach everything. Great. Veronica's helping me out here because I can see her. All right, I'm not going to do the mind reading thing. Everyone unmute yourselves again. I'm going to prove a point here that I can't do justice to. I get better in my ability to communicate and my ability to sell because I teach. I'm going to teach you guys a bunch of things here in the next hour. Everyone other than Ben can answer this. All right, let's say I teach you something in the next 40 minutes and you take notes on it or you say the word cheers. All of you that are unmuted right now, right, just share with me in a 1-word response what you should all do to get better at something.
Practice.
Okay, thank you. Now watch this, guys. Desmond, was that you who just said practice, Desmond?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Desmond, thank you for being a great sport. Everyone else was going to say practice too. And Desmond, before I deliver, I'm going to garner understanding from you. Do you like someone to be gentle or direct with you in advice?
Direct.
Now, if you've got something in your teeth, I'm the kind of guy I'll let you know about it. You're sure I have
For
your
sure.
full blessing? Okay, and you understand that when someone gives you constructive feedback and it's designed as a gift, all right, when you get a gift and given a gift, what's the words that you usually say when someone gives you a gift?
Thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right, so watch this. Everyone, Desmond you were all going to say practice. I've never heard anyone say anything different other than Ben Berry, who knows what the answer is. But Desmond, you're going to watch the tape back and you'd be like, dude, I can't believe this. All right. Is listening an important component when we're communicating? Yes, it's the most critical thing, right? It's really important. Desmond, you're the only one who answered. Everyone else was thinking the same thing. But here's what I got to prove. You're not listening to your clients. You gave me permission to be direct. You are not listening. They're not hearing the words that you're saying. Here's why I know this. Because I clearly said, and I didn't invent this concept. I said, I get better at my ability to communicate and sell because I teach. I even stress on the word teach. And now I didn't invent the concept, Desmond, but can you understand that we do get better at things when we teach it to others, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I asked you all, what should you do to get better? And I stressed 4 times, no fewer than 4 times on the word teach. And I asked you, what should you do to get better? Desmond, by the way, everyone, Desmond deserves a round of applause from all of you for answering and participating. All right, because the truth of the matter is, if you answered practice, I'm proving a point that I can't do justice to. You're not listening to your clients, and your clients aren't listening to you. All right, so think about this, negative, positive connotation. If someone says to you, I'm not here to sell you something, what do you hear them saying to you?
I'm selling you something.
Okay. If someone says in the EXP world, maybe, hey, we're not going to try and recruit you, what do you think the person's hearing?
Trying to recruit you, of course.
Right. So have you ever had a friend say, I hope I'm not being an inconvenience? You're like, well, you weren't being one, but now that you mentioned the word, you're being an inconvenience. So what conscious communication is, just so you guys are aware, is asking questions we actually want the answer to and listening. All right. If you want to elevate your sales in listening, just turn around to someone when they say something and just say, hey, let me briefly summarize what I just heard you say, or ask your client, hey, can you briefly summarize what I heard you say so I know we're on the same page? All the sale is, guys, in its rawest form, is an agreement to think around the same thing the same way. Okay? So now, is building rapport important?
Yes.
Okay. So watch this. The way I teach building rapport, I'm a clarity coach. So if I say it makes sense, you'll implement it. Building rapport is making people the same as us. People like to buy from people they feel the same as, not from people they feel different from. If I ask you guys to relay the first question I asked, they've got every hand raised. No one ever remembers it. But if you want to consciously make someone the same in communication, use the word, well, you don't have to use the same words and you don't need a British accent, but I use the words you like me in the form of a question to build rapport. So Franklin Ortega, who's just come on here, I see his glorious face in the middle of my screen. If I go, Franklin, are you like me? Do you value honesty? All right, what are you going to say, Franklin? You're probably going to say yes, correct? Okay, he's not muted, but he looks like he's about to say yes. All right, here's the deal, guys. I've never in the history of ever asking that question had someone say to me, no, I love being lied to. Please lie right to my face. All right. Now, if I go Gail Bell, who I can see clearly on my screen, and there's a smile. Gail, are you like me? Do you value your time? She's going to say, yes, I value my time, correct?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So if you don't know someone, guys, go general. Now watch this. How many of you want to bring on buyers and sellers in one meeting? Ideally. So here's the deal, guys. The more specific you get with your rapport build to what you do for a living, the more likely you can get a client in one meeting. I'll give you an example for the purpose of this training. If when you're a realtor, you turn around to your client and you start the dialogue, you control the dialogue with questions. You're the one asking the questions. You could start with a question like this. Hey, before I start sharing stuff, are you like me in believing that not all realtors are created the same or equally? All right. And now look at Veronica's face. Oh, I like that. Do you know why that's amazing? Because it diminishes the chances of them saying that you're too much in commission, because you're already starting out to get them to buy into the fact that you're not all created the same, just using you like me. Now, again, I'm going to go fast here and give you guys the credit that you're picking up what I'm sharing. And I don't go fishing for the cheers, yet this next slide is usually a cheers moment for you. Have you all heard of the concept mirroring before? Any of you heard of mirroring? Okay.
Chris Voss.
Chris, I teach what I call and coined the term extreme mirroring. This is an example of extreme mirroring, okay? In the middle of your slide, you'll see a text message from Monica, who's a realtor from Colombia. Text me, first ever message to me, good afternoon, exclamation mark, space, upside down question mark. Her ending, upside down question mark, thank you period, upside down question mark. Now, if you look at my response, I had to Google how you do an upside down question mark, but she wrote good afternoon, exclamation mark, space, upside down, question mark. I wrote good afternoon, exclamation mark, space, upside down, question mark. Now watch this. If people buy from people they feel more the same as, if someone writes to you and says, hey, and you say hello, you're making yourself different from that person. If someone uses the word children and you use the word kids, you're making yourself different from that person. Are you following along with me? How many of you ever make cold calls to someone you've not spoken to before? If you are doing that, here's a good tip. Wait for them to answer the phone first and then repeat back to them. It's a very subtle subliminal thing that they're going to be like, I don't know why, but this person seems to get me more than other people. Now, I teach something called predictability. You're going to laugh. Do all of you know Deontay Lawrence on here? Any of you familiar with the name Deontay Lawrence with EXP? Some of you? Okay. Deontay will send me black hand emojis. I am not sending Deontay black hand emojis back. All right. So that usually gets a chuckle. But the idea being is don't lose your soul, don't lose your sanity. But if someone says something to you, you can repeat the word back to them. It will. I'm convinced it will help you get, if you're getting 1 out of 10 people, it will help you get 3 or 4. Because Saturday they're going to be like, I don't know why, but this person seems to get me. Now, here's a wax on, wax off moment. These are not my kids. All right. When I Googled image unhappy looking kids, this is what came up for me. How many of you have kids? Like me, you have kids. Okay. Anyone other than Veronica that I can see on here have kids by chance? No, Veronica. Okay, unmute yourselves because I'm gonna. You're gonna be a volunteer for this. If you're like me, we don't always necessarily like our kids, but we do love our kids. Correct, Veronica?
Correct.
Okay. Did you ever try to feed your kids vegetables?
Yes.
Okay. And was there ever times that your kids turned around to you and said, "Mum, we don't want to eat the vegetables"?
All the time.
All the time. Now remember, Veronica, I can only give constructive feedback based on how you answer this. All right. And as you saw with Desmond was the only good sport who shouted practice. Everyone else was thinking practice. He was the one who volunteered it. Okay. So for any parent on here, this is one of those moments where we get to define what questions are we asking at home to what questions are we asking clients. So you've got the vegetables in front of your kids and your kids turn around and you say, "Mum, I don't want to eat the broccoli." Did you turn around and say, "How do you know you don't like it?" as a question? And then your kid just went, "I just know." Did that happen for you?
Yes.
Okay. And then you flippantly went to the next question. Have you ever tried it? And your kid
Yes.
says, "No," right? Can we understand in communication, we're no closer to the kid eating vegetables?
No,
All right.
not happening.
Right. So my house, watch this. I start with multiple choice questions to steer a conversation in psychology. I go, "Kids, do you think daddy feeds you healthy? Because I do or don't care about you." Because you care. Okay, well, what benefits would you come up with to at least try the broccoli? "I don't know, Dad." Well, they won't listen to me, but they will listen to Alexa. So I go, "Alexa, what are the benefits of eating broccoli?" Now Alexa goes off on a tangent. And now I turn around to my kids and say, "Did any one thing stick out positively from Alexa?" And my daughter go, "The thing about the brain, Dad." And I go, "Why is that important?" She goes, and starts going on for a tangent why she wants a good brain. And then I go, "Well, what's your thoughts now, Princess?" She goes, "I think I should at least try it." And I say, "I agree with you." Can we both clearly see, Veronica, we're having different conversations outcomes based on the same sale? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, right. Now, as realtors, if you have sellers turn around to you and say, "I think my house is worth X," if you are asking the seller, "How did you come up with your price?" You've asked now someone who's not the expert a question that they get the ability to justify things to you that are not going to be in agreement. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down as a lesson for you here? Like in terms of amateur professional. All right. And okay, now watch this, guys. LA Fitness sales guy. Just my humor. And Desmond will appreciate my humor because of Ghostbusters. But I used to work out at LA Fitness, and for giggles, I would go up to the salespeople at the end of a workout and say, I'm thinking of checking out Planet Fitness down the street, just to see what response they would give me. And here's what they would say to me. Oh, Planet Fitness, they don't have the swimming pool, the racquetball court, the basketball court, or the aerobics room with the punching bags. And then I would say to them with a smile on my face, well, now you got me thinking I'm paying too much money for my membership. Anyone else other than Desmond and Veronica, why would I think I'm paying too much money for my membership based on the way the LA Fitness sales guy responded?
Well, probably there's a lot of things that you're not even using and they made you realize.
I'm not using any of those things. Now, I was just in a room doing another talk on the same thing. And I asked people, you're all with EXP, yes? All right. I had Cecibel. Was it Cecibel, Ben? Yeah. I turned around in front of the room. I'm like, hey, how many of you bought into joining EXP because of one thing they offer, knowing they offer several things? And Cecibel goes, I only bought into one thing. Right. So the other 3 things or 4 things or whatever someone goes on about, can we see they're irrelevant? Are you following along? So the lesson is, when you're selling, don't be LA Fitness sales guy. Other people have come up with the term feature dump. All right. Don't feature dump on someone. Your mission in life when trying to sell is to find out and extract value from your potential client. All right. Not tell value. The whole world gets told, tell your value. You want to extract value. Find out what the person values, and everyone will do something based on one thing. So simple lesson, don't be LA Fitness sales guy. Are you guys, just to get some life in the chat, and Ben can, are you guys enjoying this so far? Are you learning stuff? Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting some hearts. Are you enjoying this? Okay. Because I'm looking to teach you quite a bit. All right. And I'm going to, there's certain slides I'm not going to share, purely based on time, so I can open it up to questions in the next 10, 15 minutes. Women are better salespeople than men, hands down. I put it down to emotional intelligence. You guys are doing the most emotional sale on the planet. All right. You can't make it logical. People do things on emotions first. They will justify with logic afterwards. Right. So your mission is to get someone to an emotional space when you're selling. Now, if I ask you guys what you will do for a living, you will most likely make a statement. I'm in the real estate business. I help people buy dream homes. It's all a statement. I didn't learn this till I was 29. Whoever asks questions steers a conversation. Whoever asks questions steers a conversation. Right? There are good questions. There are bad questions. Here's an example of a question you do not want to ask someone that you've never met before. How are you? If you've never met someone before and you do care about your clients, you just want to ask better questions to show you care. If Chris was to turn around to me and say, Jamie, how are you? And we don't know each other, I'll be like, do you really care? He's going to go, yes. I'm going to be like, well, in that case, I think I woke up at 6:01 this morning, was it? Or 6:02. And I just, my daughter wasn't like being as easy as she was to get ready, and my dog Bruce, he was like not as regular as he usually is outside. All right. And because he asked the question, how are you, he's given me permission to go on about my whole day. It's the equivalent of when there's a reason that again, I'm a clarity coach. It doesn't make me right, but in realtor specific world, 74%, I didn't invent these numbers, did zero business last year. Here's my reason why. There's zero prerequisite for how they communicate to get a license. So the questions that we ask control and dictate the outcome. If a seller goes, how did you come? Seller goes, I think my house is worth X. If you go, how'd you come up with that price? You've now given that seller an ability to justify things to you. That's usually tied to a bad debt they want to eradicate, or a comparable. Yeah, Chris is like nodding his head. Or it's tied. They've tied it to a comparable down the street that's got zero comparables. All right, in their mind. So the lesson here is don't ask questions you don't want the answer to that are going to cause you to do this. There are better approaches to get the outcomes you're looking for. All right, from that standpoint, are you guys hitting, is that message hitting home for you guys just before I move on? All right. Now, I didn't even get to teach this. Ben's been a client of mine for like 6 years now. It's scary to say. Like, yeah, all right. And this is a new lesson. People do things on emotions and justify with logic. So we need to be really observant of, is someone in an emotional place in front of us right now? Here's how we know it in communication. How they answer our questions will determine whether someone is logical or emotional. I'll give you an example. If someone is logical, they're going to answer you very quickly with long words. If someone is emotional, they're going to be stumbling and stuttering to find the words to use. I'll throw out an example. If you ask someone, how will you feel creating a home for your family and your kids playing in the backyard? If they don't struggle to find the words to describe that feeling, they're too logical. Are you following along? Like, you've got to be observant. And if you want to, the more emotional someone is, it means that price point is irrelevant. Rates are irrelevant. All right. Can we all understand people buy things they don't need in life? All right. Like, people go and get iPhones. People will go to college and spend 300 grand for a liberal arts education. All right, because of an emotional state that they're in. Chris is laughing and he knows that that's true, but I don't know if he knows the college that I'm referring to. All right, so multiple choice questions. How many of you as realtors are asked this? What commission do you charge? You're asked before you even have a chance to even explain stuff. Chris, because you're unmuted, just help me out here because I can see you and you are a friendly guy. Now, Chris, I start out, I've not met you before, but I control the conversation first as your client, and I say, what commission do you charge? How do you respond?
Everything is negotiable. Can I see your home?
Okay, everything's negotiable. You know what, to a degree, I like it. And then you followed up with a question, to be fair. In the room, and Ben can just attest to this, I had a guy, I think his name was Gene, and I go, what rates you charge? And he said, I'm just very direct, and he told me 5%. Ben,
Too
just
much.
nod your head, yes. Okay. Right. No, but here's my point. I teach let's extract value, not tell value. All right. So again, remember, I gave myself permission. I can't teach everything, but I will teach the starting point. Multiple choice steers a conversation. So if someone goes to me, and Chris, you might like this. I like your approach, but you might like this more. Someone goes to me, what commission do you charge? I'll say, I absolutely share the commission. Just very quickly, do you care just about the commission, or do you also care about the caliber of the realtor you're going with? All right. And now if they say just commission, I know I don't want them as a client. Can we all agree? I don't want them as a client. Oh, Maria gave me a fire for that. All right. So watch this. Watch this. Chris, to put you on the spot, and you're a safe volunteer. And have I come across as a lovely person that you can answer this to? Like,
Sure.
you can answer my, okay, great. Let's say I'm a buyer and you've been working with me for 5 months, Chris, and you've been spending the one commodity that you don't get back, your time. And all of a sudden as a buyer, I become miraculous and I've got a crystal ball for what I think the market's going to do, which I have no clue. And I say to you, Chris, hey, Chris, I think the market's going to crash. All right. We want to hold off. All right. What do you ask or say in that moment, Chris? Just out of curiosity.
I don't work with buyers. But yeah, you got me there. I don't work. I'm more of a
What do you
listing
think?
agent,
Okay.
100%.
Well, here's what most people say. Why do you think it's going to crash? All
I'm
right.
gonna
They
say
ask
that.
a question they don't want the answer to, because now you're asking a buyer, what? So watch this, guys. Hopefully this gets another fire comment from Maria. I'll take it like fire is like cheers. All right. So watch this, guys. Buyer says to me, Jamie, we're going to hold off. We think the market's going to crash. I'll be like, hey, I'm just curious, just real quick. Would you say you've got, like, awful, terrible taste when it comes to buying a home? Or would you say you've actually got fairly good taste when it comes to buying a home? Now, what do you think they might have a personality like Desmond's and they go, I've got terrible taste. All right. In which case they're probably being sarcastic. All right. But most of the people are going to say, I've got good taste. All right. Then you get to steer the conversation to them and make it their idea. You get to steer the conversation and make it their idea that to wait and let the market go down is going to give them less chance of them getting the home they want. Are you following along with me there? But you've got to start with the question, do you have good or bad taste? Is the objection handler. All right, in that instance. When I get to questions in about 5 minutes, I can give more clarity on that. I'm not going to share how I helped a male client get a date on Bumble using 3 questions, but there's a snapshot for you guys. All right, that you can go through what, why, how, because I've got 5 minutes left. All right, to teach you stuff. Then I'm going to open up to questions. Is that fair with all of you? That I can? Okay, good. So I'm going to get to certain lessons. I did promise you're going to learn one-off question. Guys, when you go into an interaction, instead of starting with, let me start by telling you, go into your interactions with this question. Hey, before I start sharing with you all the wonderful things I know I can do for you, what benefits did you come up with for meeting with me? Chris has got the Chris AC team. All right. That might be Atlantic City. I don't know what the AC stands for. All right. But Chris, you go, hey, before I start sharing about Chris's AC team, what benefits did you come up with for meeting with me specifically? And the person might have done their research on you first off. So they're basically going to tell you all the wonderful things. Veronica, earlier, I said, what benefits did you come up with for being better in communication? And then I just close my mouth and I open up my ears and I wait up for her to tell me all the benefits she'll get being better in communication. Do you see where I'm going along with that? All right. And I get her, and I'm not going to get her to stop talking. Authenticity, obviously that's important. I encourage you to think, are you scripted in what you're saying? Because last time I checked, we're not robots. All right. In the whole world, AI is very impressive, but we want to be cautious about how we're coming across to people as our authentic selves in psychology. I'm going to go to a slide where, and I'm kind of hesitant because my goal is to open up in a few minutes for questions. I'm going to go, this is cool. The only time you'll hear me say these words is when I'm teaching you guys, remove them from your vocab. Remove the words I want from your vocab, or anything that sounds like I want. If you say the words I would like or anything like that, I'm here to tell you nobody cares. I'll prove it. My daughter, when she was 8, goes, Dad, I want a cell phone. I said no to my own daughter. No, you're not getting one. All right. So if I don't care what my own daughter wants at 8, can we agree strangers don't care what we want? So if my daughter was more conscious in her communication, which I say she is today, and she comes up to me and she knows what questions to ask and emotion, and she goes, Dad, do you care about my safety as a starting point? Are you guys connecting the dots? Dad, do you care about my safety? I'm going to go, yes, honey. What if she knows emotion? Dad, why do you care about my safety? Ruby, I will kill someone with my bare hands if they mess with you. Dad, how would it feel to know my whereabouts and my safety at all times? What if I throw an objection at her? Very clever, Ruby, you're not getting a cell phone. What if she goes, I'm a bit confused? Like she looks at me, I call it like looking at a closed down Waffle House confusion face. Like she's just looking at me really confused. And she goes, I'm going, why are you confused? And she goes, there was this strange man at the school. He was freaking my friends and I out the other day. Can you all clearly see she's getting a cell phone if she goes with that approach? All right. Now you've got to think about the caliber of the questions you're starting with as realtors to get buyers and sellers. And the chances are you're not starting with the best question at the beginning of your conversations. I've got so many lessons I'm looking to teach you guys, but I'm looking to open it up for a minute of conversation. I tell you what, let me open it up to make it a bit more clarity for you guys around situations you're facing. And I can teach neurolinguistic programming and things like that if we have time and you want to. So if everyone wants to unmute themselves, ask a question, this is the moment that we can do that. And the recording from Facebook Live is there for everyone to watch.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. Hey, you guys, if you want to watch neurolinguistic programming, the words at least, and different things, you can go and watch the hour and a half that I did before that. where I taught this. Is that fair with everyone? So I can customize this for you guys? Okay, great. Guys, fire away with any questions you got for me.
So,
Chris, you look like you might have one.
yeah, I'm just finishing the text. I think I came a little late. I didn't get introduction of who you are. I'm sorry. I mean,
No,
you're a good
that's-
motivator. It's a combination of a lot of things that I do. That's why I was asking.
Well, here's the proof of the matter. I don't share who I am, Chris, to anyone. I make me irrelevant by making sure I don't tell everyone everything about me. I happen to be someone where I started out like many years ago. It's kind of surreal where I'm sat right now. All right, because I'm at Global Alliance downtown, and I was just in Inspiration Hall where I started out with the Deontay Lawrences of the world. And now I'm someone where I get partnerships with companies like UWM, and they're putting me as a partner perk, for example, or I speak on stages where they have fireworks and things of that nature for me. Not that I was expecting Gil to put Ben to put on fireworks for me today. They kind of let the side down, but that's okay. I still love them. All right. Ben could have at least worn his baseball hat. All right. And I say that for conscious effect to get the smiling. But basically, Chris, I've made a living out of teaching people how to go into conversations with more predetermined outcomes. All right. So love that. Look, my goal. So, Chris, have you learned anything from me yet today that you didn't know?
The commission thing, but I do a lot of mirroring to the point that I get listings by not saying anything but repeating what the other seller says. Where they
Okay.
say, I don't know why, but I'm hiring you. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Now, you said you don't work with buyers, correct, Chris?
Correct. As a buyer's
Okay.
agent.
Okay. So watch this. You like listings, right?
Yes.
Okay. The next time you get a listing, I don't know if you're doing this consciously, but my goal is to do with abundance. All right.
Yes.
And if you work with buyers, I'll help you out after I answer Chris now. Chris, when you go into a listing, are you saying these words? Hey, well done, Mr. Seller and Mrs. Seller, for meeting with me. All right. Typically, when I come in a home like this, usually around 30-minute mark, people are pretty confident, all right, to list their home with me. If you were me and you're invited into a home, would you be wanting to make people feel pretty confident? Yes. Okay, great. So what would be one characteristic that you would value more than anything in the world when it comes to having that kind of confidence? Now, the first thing I did at the beginning, guys, people do things on group psychology. The fact when Ben shares, Jamie's my coach, it's edification. All right. So no one wants to feel like a sucker. So just so you know, as a lesson, guys, if Chris goes into a house and says, hey, well done, we all love praise. Most people are pretty confident to list their homes with me by this time frame. You stop your meeting going off on random tangents. All right. Now, if Chris wants to do an assume close too, a little bit, you can ask a question that's forward lead, future pacing. Chris, I don't know if you're doing this or not, but as you're walking around the home on a preview tour, say, hey, just humor me. If there was one particular thing that you've got in this home that you can't take with you and it can't be moved, that you'd want to see in the next home that I help you buy, what would that one thing be? We haven't even got the listing paperwork done yet, but I'm already further ahead of you. Basically finding out what the one thing is that can't be moved. There you go. That's just me just throwing out some random stuff just to maybe see where Chris can be like, oh, I'm not doing that, or I'm not doing this. And he can use that from that standpoint.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, who's working with buyers? I'm about to blow your mind if you're working with buyers. Any of you? Just write in the chat if you're working with buyers. Okay, great. So watch this. Have any of you ever seen, and Desmond might have seen it, have any of you ever seen the movie Focus with Will Smith and Margot Robbie? No? Who?
Chat saying.
Yes.
Chat. Okay. So great. So like unmute yourselves just so you can help everyone here just for a second if you have seen it. There is a scene in that movie where the guy picks a number. What do you remember? Will Smith bets a guy, I know what number you're going to pick on the field of play. Does anyone remember what number he picked? Is someone writing it in the chat? Maybe the guy.
No one remembers.
No one remembers? Okay. He wrote the number 50. He bet the guy, he picked the number 55. All right. And you can go and watch it on YouTube. And Margot Robbie goes to Will Smith, how did you know he was going to pick number 55? And he goes, we've been programming his subconscious. Everywhere he's been looking, he's been seeing the number 55. All right. So use what I'm about to teach you with ethics integrity when you're working with buyers. If we're selling something, we want the other person to buy it. All right. So here's how it works. You start your dialogue. Hey, I found a house that checks off all the boxes that you're looking for. By at the end of walking through this home, you'll see where this is the one for you. By the way, do you remember when we spoke about this? All right. Oh, by chance, did you look outside at the landscaping and see that? Oh, and also, did you see by the kitchen where you can put the dog station that you were looking to do? Hey, by now, you can see where this home is the one for you. So what you're doing is you're using the word buy a bunch in your dialogue and verbiage. All right. Subconsciously, the person is hearing the word buy. The first buy they hear is buy at the end. The last buy they hear is buy now. All right. Only use that with ethics integrity. Usually I try to teach that because it's something that no one has ever learned before. And it's trying to deliver with abundance for you guys. I am still opening up for any questions or situations that you guys are facing. Ben, did anyone?
Nothing yet.
No?
So guys, anybody got any questions? Like a client out there that's asked you a question and you just don't know how to answer or respond back to them?
Well, I have a big challenge I always get is sellers always liking another agent's overpriced listing amount, which I always get the listing at the end within a year or two, but it's always a challenge that I just can't tell them their $500,000 property is worth 600, although they respect me and know my experience. But Chris, this guy said 6. Can you go higher? And I always refuse. I say I can't. Work with them, and we can still be friends. But then they always come back to me. That's been like 99% of the time. It's just I wish I could convince them to just hire me and not try it and lose money. That's my
okay. Look, Chris, obviously I'm not in your conversation, so I haven't listened to them verbatim, Chris, to say stuff. But what I can share with you is anytime anyone feels compelled to make a statement, we tweak it into a question. All right. So before, so if they know you, I would start and garner understanding first and preface. So if I'm working with a seller who knows me, I'll be like, hey, look, just humor me. Would you say I've come across as a very decent human being with great intentions? All right. And that would be, and you want them to say yes. Now, on top of that great intention person, have I come across as the ultimate professional in knowing what I'm doing? Would you believe that I am indeed that person too? Okay, great. Okay. So if I was to give advice, you know, it's coming from a viable source with good intentions that you should take advantage of. Now, again, I'm not part of your conversations, but that's where I would be starting, Chris, to then be able to make a suggestion. Or I would say, look, I'll go with the Desmond, let's call it the Desmond Ghostbuster play, all right, to be funny and just bring my authenticity and flavor to it. Someone goes to me, hey, I think my house is worth it X. So-and-so said they will list it for this. I would turn around to them sincerely and just be like, hey, look, all right, are you open? Would you like me to be gentle or direct with you? Direct. You'll find, do you know that there are 23,998 people within a 1 mile radius of us right now who will list their home for anything that you want them to list it for? All right, look at where I'm going with it. Do you see where I'm going with this, Chris? All right, you'll find, okay. Now, watch this. Do you care about what you do for a living and the reputation that you have when it comes to what you do? What do you think the seller's going to say? Like, no, all right.
Yeah.
And now, do you think that you do something the same level as everybody else, or do you think that you might know a thing or two more than someone who's does what you do? Okay. Now, if I list the home at a price point that every other realtor on the planet is willing to list it for, all right, and it doesn't sell, whose reputation am I affecting? Yours or mine? Okay, okay. So is it okay with you that I value my reputation? Oh, and also, by the way, would you say it's a really good thing or a terrible thing to have a realtor in your life who's just willing to do what you do, want them to do when it comes to negotiations and all that fun stuff? Or could you see where I'm going with this? And now I've made it question based. What I'm not going to do is list it at the price point they want. But I've got them. I've not made statements. I made questions. Maria gave me 5. That's sufficient enough for me. And then if they really want to be like, well, you know what? I've got someone for you. I've got a friend named Mary. All right. She's got a friend and she's got a brother named Bob. And Bob was dating a girl that works at a nail salon close by. And in that nail salon, there's a kid called Freddie. And he's part-time mops the floor and part-time sells real estate. He will sell your house for whatever commission that you so desire. And I'll have fun with it. Do you know, like, and just again, I don't teach script. I teach framework and what is the outcome I'm looking for. Does that make sense for you guys? It's being human with people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
But I would make it question-based, Chris. Again, I haven't listened to your conversations to give you the intimate, like, could you have seen where if you did this, that would have helped?
Okay.
I'll take the 5 from Maria though. So that was a cheers moment. I'll take. Any other questions? So Chris, thank you for volunteering a question. Any other questions from you guys? I'm looking to be with abundance here.
So what's the meaning on top of the hat?
Oh, what, the AOCC? Okay, you actually genuinely don't know? Or okay, so what's this? So I'm going to prove something to you guys right now. Ben has just asked what AOCC stand for. Ben, how much have you invested in my training? How much what was your investment that you made?
$3,000.
3 grand. So watch this, everyone. I'm being transparent. 3 grand Ben gave me. I went all the way up to 54 grand for the same services. The lesson is this, though. Ben just asked me what this stands for. He's paid me 3 grand and he has no clue. So here's the lesson for you guys. Whatever our names are, whatever anything is, it's all irrelevant. People remember the way we leave them feeling. Ben, do I always leave you feeling pretty good and you want to invite me to Christmas parties at yours and Jason's house and all that fun stuff? All right, so AOCC stands for Art of Conscious Communication. All right, the point being is it's all irrelevant. People remember the way we leave them feeling. Appearance doesn't, well, watch this. Do you guys care more about appearance or the value of the content of the things that I teach? Right, right. So I'm going to make that another lesson. You can get business anywhere. I'm going to how many of you are based in Florida? Are you all based in Florida? Okay. So watch this. I'm going to give you a lesson. I'm not accountability, so I'm not going to ask any of you if you do this or not. Where is everyone moving from to Florida? What part of the country?
Yeah, New York and Wisconsin.
Right, New York. Okay. So New York, New Jersey. So watch this, guys. I already know the answer to this. Are any of you proactively reaching out to podcast hosts who live in New York and New Jersey? And the problem is you're not. Watch this. How do you like the idea of having 0 investment? You've 0 cost. You reach out to someone and they market you for free on their podcast. You get invited. They're always looking for valued guests. All right. And you turn around, you reach out to the podcast host and you'd be like, look, since everyone's moving from your neck of the woods to mine, would I be a valued guest to teach about that move? They'll be like, oh my God, that'll be amazing. I'm actually going on Michael Collier's podcast tomorrow, just so you know. So I believe in podcast. I wouldn't ever have you do something I don't do. And then here's what you're going to do, guys. You're going to take subtle control of the podcast. You turn around to the host up there and say, hey, up north, you guys have got basements, right? And the host will be like, yeah. Do you think your audience would like to learn about the Florida equivalent of a basement? And the host will be like, yeah, that'll be amazing. Okay, everyone down here in Florida, we call them sinkholes. And then the audience will laugh. All right. Proof of concept. Gail laughed, Veronica laughed. Then here's what you get to do, guys, consciously. You get to say, no, in all seriousness, I don't know about up north, but down south, not all realtors are created the same. Would your audience appreciate having a more meticulous, detailed-oriented realtor in their lives? Do you know what will happen, guys? You'll have people in the audience typing, we're going for dinner with friends who are moving to Florida. We're going to give them your information. I've already had, going to the chat right now, I just cheekily looked. I've already had some of you on here saying, how do I get in touch with Jamie? Have I asked you guys for anything? Yeah, I've got people. The point being is you go on a podcast, you can get business. It doesn't cost you anything. Who would have more fun being a guest on a podcast and doing this all day long with a phone and getting edified? Okay, I just showed you a way you can get business in front of people and they get archived and people can watch them back. And you will, if you do 12 podcasts a year, was it worth 6 hours of your time to have fun and get invited? And Gail's like, yep. The only thing I'm not is accountability. So I'm not going to ask Gail, did she do it? But I can tell you, you sell a comprehensive service that can affect doctors, florists, you name it, that you can get in front of. You don't even have to focus on how many people watch the podcast. Hopefully that was a good lesson for you in abundance. As I go, oh,
Get you to mute.
oh, get me on. Am I mute?
No, I'll say we'll get you to mute.
Okay.
Jump in.
Okay, go ahead.
So guys, I know we're running a little over here, but I left this off on purpose. You know, Jamie kind of answered you, Chris, when you said you weren't really introduced. He wasn't. So, I mean, just to kind of break this down, Jamie's a globally recognized expert in conscious communication. He's a sought after keynote speaker. He's a creator of a course, does train thousands of professionals worldwide. His framework helps us step into conversations with empathy, clarity, and intent without feeling scripted. You know, we brought him in here. We didn't really tell you who he was, just gave him the floor. I know we actually didn't have a whole lot of people turn out, but he's one of my personal coaches. I reach out to him all the time. I can send him a text from a client, you know, like you're saying, Chris, that you didn't know what to say to that seller. I will literally text him that story and ask him what he would say. He flips the script, sends me a text back, and I call the client and I read what he told me to say. And, you know, we close deals. I'll be honest, I've never had a seller fight with me over offer. I've actually told a seller that's an hour away from me that I wouldn't sell their house if they weren't willing to list it at my list price. And that seller ended up signing my contract last week. It's going live this week. But it's how you say it to them. So do you think it'd be beneficial to have a coach that taught you the right words and how to present something so you don't get the no's? So yeah. So guys, we're going to wrap it up. I know we're about 3 minutes over. If you do have any last minute questions and would like to come off mute, be more than happy to let Jamie answer a few more questions. If you have a situation out there that you're just like, I don't know what to say, I feel like I'm going to lose this deal, drop it in the chat or come alive. Go on mute. Okay. Nobody out there? Nobody's got any difficulties? Something they think somebody could help them out with? Okay, I'm gonna let them wrap it up. Y'all have a good one, man. Keep selling.
Cheers, everyone.